Welcome to the Echo Chamber. It's Malachi, the RS1. Welcome to the Echo Chamber. Hey, right on target. My little phone. This is Sky Saxon. Now, I wanted to do a reaction video of somebody reacting to maybe Pushing Too Hard or a Seed song, but I couldn't find it. And maybe it's just because of the popularity, but I worked with Sky in the 90s on some recordings, and he was a trip, man. He was a trip. And then when he passed away, I wanted him to become a part of a coffee line called Legends of Rock, right? And of course it had to be organic. Because if you knew Sky, you knew that everything he had to do had to be organic. You know, he was a trip. He invented the phrase "flower power," I believe, and he was all about the summer of love and all those things. The guy was a little nutty, and he'd go off on these kind of, when you'd record him. I'm going to play the video here. It's from a TV show, actually. But when you'd record this guy, he'd go on. He would just. It was the weirdest thing working with him at the time in my studio. It was like I never met a guy like him before. Right? Came in with a bunch of ragtag people, and he's just, it's like, I'd be going, well, what are we going to do? And he'd go, just record, man, you know? And then the band would start playing. I don't even know if they even knew what they were playing, but they'd start playing something. And then he would just start singing. Yeah, God is a dog and stuff like that. It's just real trippy, man. And, I remember, I think an hour or so, a couple hours later, maybe more, after one of the girls that he invited to play a violin took a shower in my sink, basically, because I don't think she'd bathed for years or months. He said, man, go out there and play some guitar or something. And so I went out there, played some guitar, and I ended up going, oh yeah, let's use that. And then whatever lick I was doing, he made a whole song around it. It's like, yeah, just do that. Just keep doing that over and over and over again. Then you had the drummer that we had. We had everybody like in one room, you know. And then he'd go into the control room and sing something. And I had to cut back in here. Had to get some lunch I forgot about. Anyways, back to Sky. Crazy guy to work with, but the nicest guy in the world. Very trippy. He reminded me a lot of Boyd Grafmeyer. They were both, you know, kind of the same build and the same wardrobe, but attire and kind of way they talked. And my phone keeps going off. It doesn't matter when I do a video. Probably should learn to turn it off, huh? Anyways, but yeah, he was a trip. Oh, one incident I want to talk about. When he came in and did a recording, my mom was there at my house, and because I used to record bands at my home, and I'm also going to do one on George Clinton. I recorded him, a bunch of other people too. But anyways, my mom was there. You know, I had it in the lower part of the house. I had an old turn of the century home. Actually, I think they did an album cover on my front porch. It was one of the album covers from a later thing that he did. Yeah, my mom was there, and he goes, hey, what do you play? And, you know, that kind of thing, because they're kind of similar in age, you know. She says, well, I play piano. And he goes, oh, you need to be on my album. I mean, that was first thing. He didn't care. He didn't care. He would let anybody be on anything that he did. Anyways, let's listen to Pushing Too Hard. Okay, let's let me find it here. Let's make it bigger. And here, I think this is something from a TV show. The Seeds. Mother-in-law. Okay.
They're going to play a number.
Oh, okay, we're all set.
Good. Go ahead and jump into your bags.
Yeah, blow your brains out.
Yeah,
Jump
they
into
say
your
that's
bag.
a generation gap.
Blow your
We
brains
like
out.
to do a number we plan to record. It's called Pushing Too Hard.
We hope you like it. We think it's gassy.
Gassy.
You're pushing too hard, or pushing on me. You're pushing too hard, or what you want me to be. You're pushing too hard about
Look at her.
things you
She's
say.
really trying.
You're pushing too hard every night and day. You're pushing too hard on me.
And that's how he was.
Better listen to what I'm telling you. You better listen, girl, or we'll through. You better stop all
That's how he
your
was.
fooling around. Stop the running all over town. 'Cause you're pushing too hard on me. But I know there's not a fish in the sea. I know some would stay by me. So if you don't think I'm gonna try, you better ask yourself the reason why. 'Cause you're pushing too hard.
Parents don't get it, but the kids dig it.
Pushing too hard. Pushing too hard. Pushing too hard. Pushing too hard on me. Pushing too hard.
Never hit a snare drum. That's all. That's the tom. Boom, boom, boom. It was the artistry of the 2-minute song, and that was a 2-minute song that I don't say it made old Sky a million bucks, but he did okay. One thing about Sky, I remember one time I finished an album, and he's like, of course, I'm pretty sure he was like this to everybody. He's going, oh man, this is the greatest. And he loved it. He loved my religious side of things. And he told me, he goes, because I had people interested in another album that I did, record labels and stuff. He goes, no, don't sign nothing with nobody, man. License it out, man. Because that's what he used to do. He used to license his catalog out because he owned certain aspects. And I guess he was part of some I don't want to say cult because that sounds bad, but he was part of some group of people out in Hawaii for a while, or someplace like that, either Hawaii or some other island place, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really follow him that much. I met him through a drummer friend of mine that I worked with at Boeing that was playing drums with him, and I had a recording studio, and so it was like, hey man, you gotta let my friend come over and play. And I'm like, well, who is he? And he goes, oh, it's Sky Saxon. Back then, we didn't have internet and stuff, so we couldn't look up anything. And I go, okay, and then just not knowing anything about the dude, and then starting to listen to what he was doing. Of course, I didn't even have any albums or anything of his. I do have a couple Seeds albums now that I'd gotten that he'd signed over for me, but it was interesting too that I also knew the guys from Quicksilver Messenger Service, and I played with the guys who did Indigata Davida, and I know my memory's getting bad. as young as I am, I probably should have better memory. But you start playing with people, and I've never played with artists playing or working with them because they were something. I always played or worked with them because they were just interesting, and I thought what they were doing was cool. Because when I was recording, like I said, we didn't have the internet really then. We had what we had, and at that time I was mostly recording hip-hop R&B because I started working with some guys out of LA, and then I was a prog guy, so it's kind of like, I wasn't recording Rush, so I didn't know who they were. And then, I knew some of the guys, Seattle bands, the Alice in Chains people, and I remember one time we were in Seattle, and the guy from Pearl Jam, what's his name? The singer guy. Anyways, he saw Sky and came up to him, wanted his autograph, and thought he was the greatest thing. So it was like, oh, well, okay, cool. Because you got to remember, there's times in the 90s, and I kind of lucked out. There's times in the 90s where even Iron Maiden was playing in bars in the 1990s when they had the new singer and nobody cared. And there was times also, too, that people didn't care about this music. I did a show with him once. There was hardly anybody there. It was like a COVID show today with nobody in the audience, right? But over time you learn, wow, this guy had tons of music. Pushing Too Hard was just one of the many songs that they had that were very successful. He was also the inventor of basically grunge rock. So it was amazing, over time you learn all these things about the people you work with. I just thought it was cool that I got to work with them. And it's like my story with working with George Clinton and guys with Prince and The Time and stuff like that, because there was a time when they weren't as famous as they were when they were. They were kind of on the down low, And I was working with a lot of down low bands. I don't want to say that he was a down low, but he sure was a cool cat, that's for sure. And a lot of people knew him and respected him, but he was a chuckle for sure. He was a funny guy, and he was a cool guy, man. He's just a guy who lived. I tried to do something like I said with a coffee line with him. I think I have that here. But he had gotten remarried, and just before he passed, or I don't know, who knows. Anyways, it all becomes really very crazy sometimes to do things. So it didn't really happen, but just because things just didn't happen, there's nothing I can do about it. But anyways, it's Malachi signing out with the Echo Chamber. Check out some Sky music and the Seeds. They had quite a few really cool songs. Then if you kind of listen to the old stuff and then listen today, you hear a lot of influences, especially like Iggy Pop, and there were tons of guys that were influenced by Sky and the Seeds. It was amazing to me. I can't remember who else it was. I think it was the guy from Smashing Pumpkins or something like that. Worked on a documentary with him and a few other guys. And I tried to work with another guy that I dealt with in the past that was also working with me on the guys with Quicksilver Messenger Service. Anyways, that's just my little story. It's 2 Cent Tuesday. Go check them out. It's cool stuff. Anyways, Malachi signing out, The Artist One. Subscribe. Go to my website. Got tons of free music. Tons of stuff. Anyways, we'll talk at y'all later.
give us love.